because the outcome of the court case with the hockey players is still in my brain, I am going to share a very basic neuroscience lesson about the impact that a traumatic experience has on one's ability to create normal memories of what occurred, so that maybe, just maybe, we'll all have a better understanding of why a survivor's testimony will look different than somebody else's, but that doesn't mean it's actually not credible. Okay, when we are about to face something really distressing, potentially damaging and harmful to us, this brain structure, the amygdala, this little one here, that is erroneously sometimes referred to as the fear center. It's not. It's the negative feeling center of the brain. It lights up like a Christmas tree and it goes, holy smokes, we are about to experience something really horrible. And so it calls for backup, and it tells the hypothalamus, hey man, I need support. Hypothalamus says, no problem, I got you. And it calls its buddy, the pituitary gland, and says, I need some adrenaline and cortisol, two stress hormones. Pituitary gland says, no problem, and it sends an SOS out to various glands in the body to start producing these things. When that happens, a couple of really interesting things occur. First, adrenaline gives us the ability to be faster and stronger and to have more acuity, like sensory input acuity, than we otherwise would. But we are finite beings. So when we gain something over here, we are going to lose something over here. So while we are gaining the physical acuity and strength, the prefrontal cortex here, it diminishes pretty much in exact proportion. And the prefrontal cortex is our logic, executive function, problem solving, pattern seeking, risk assessing center of the brain. And why? Because we're just now in instinct mode. We just need to survive. So we're going to kick and punch, run. We're going to fawn all over the place. We don't need to have logic because we just need to survive. Another thing that happens, though, the hippocampus, this right here, that is like the file clerk of the brain. That's where we create, code, and store memory. Now, when we are going about our day, we are typically coding two different kinds of memories. The content of the event, and the context. So, the content is what happened. Well, they did this, I did this. And this is what occurred. This was the sensations I felt. The context is the timeline of it. Okay, hold that thought for a moment. When the friends of the pituitary gland say, here's all the cortisol that you wanted, the stress hormones, it also, it's flooding the body, but it also is going to the hippocampus. Okay, the neurons, which is a fancy word for the cells in the brain, they all have they have like a little branch that goes out called an axon, and the other ones have receivers called dendrites. And so when the one gets input, it sends like an electrical spike through it, so that when it gets to the tip of the branch, it sends out a neurotransmitter, so like a hormone, to be picked up by the next cell. And so the neurotransmitter that's sent out from this one, it gets picked up by receptors in this one. Now, remember that I said that the cortisol floods the I gotta go backwards. The hippocampus. Yeah, well, the receptors on those neurons they receive cortisol. So it's gets gummed up with the stress hormones. And what does this mean? It means that while the assault survivor can still totally lay down the content memories, they don't have the ability to lay down the context memories. So instead of having this beautiful storybook narrative, they have snapshot memories instead. And this is why it's seen as not credible. Well, what time of day was it? Did he walk in first, or did this person walk in first? And it's like they can't keep the timeline straight, and therefore it's seen as lying or being made up or whatever. But the content is accurate. The content is accurate. So we need to understand that just because they don't have the storybook style narrative doesn't mean that their snapshot memories are erroneous. And if there's one part of our judicial system that needs reform, it's the way we treat sexual assault survivors. And so that's why I'm making this video. A little bit of information. I hope education will go a very long way in spreading awareness to the reality of what's going on in the brain in the midst of traumatic experiences. Life is hard. Be gentle with yourself. Have a great day.